I don't know how many people believe this, but a certain amount of people are saying that Mookie Betts is the best player in baseball and not Mike Trout. But this is wrong on so many levels, and I don't know how many people think this is true, but it's not. Mike Trout is the best player in baseball, and a lot of the times that could be an opinion, but this is a fact, and I'm going to prove it to you guys right now. So to start it off, we're going to do Mike Trout and Mookie Betts' numbers from 2017 to 2020 to compare them side by side. Now we're going to start with the more traditional stuff and the non-baseball nerdy stuff. Here's Mookie Betts' home runs, RBIs, and batting average from 2017 to 2020 for each year. And now this is going to be a 162 game average for each season, so these aren't his actual stats, but this is what they would be if he played 162 games. Now here's Mike Trout's 162 game average for each season from 2017 to 2020. That's a lot better, right? Except for the 1 year where Mookie Betts had a better batting average. And I know traditional stats aren't always the most accurate thing to base your opinion on, because a lot of the times in baseball that's not always looked for and when you're trying to acquire a player. So let's go into the more baseball nerdy stuff, like the more advanced stuff, to prove that Mike Trout is better. So now let's look at OPS and OPS plus for Mookie Betts. Those are pretty solid numbers, especially 2018 where he had such a monster year. And now let's look at Mike Trout's. He leads the league in OPS from 2017 to 2019, and he leads the league in OPS plus from 2017 to 2019. And to make things worse, Mike Trout's worst season as a full-time starter was in 2014, and he had a 939 OPS and still won the MVP. Mookie Betts only had a higher OPS than that in one season in 2018, where he also won the MVP. And as a pure hitter, there's no doubt Mike Trout is better, just statistically. And that's not the only thing I'm going to show you guys on why Mike Trout is better, and why some people think that Mookie Betts might be better when it's really not true. And I'll give Mookie Betts credit, he is a better defender and wins the Gold Glove every year where Mike Trout has not won any. And if you look at Mookie Betts' fielding WAR, it's a lot better than Mike Trout's. But if you look at fielding percentage, Mike Trout has Mookie Betts down easily. So you can go figure on what you think is more valuable to your team, the more routine outs or the more game-saving outs. Now statistically, on everything, I should have you guys blown away. Mike Trout is better. Now let's go see why people think Mookie Betts is better from a non-statistical standpoint. So this one person I heard claim that Mookie Betts is better because he has more World Series. Mookie Betts has 2 World Series while Mike Trout has none. And Mookie Betts seems to make the playoffs more on his teams than Mike Trout. And the biggest thing I can argue is that baseball is more of a team sport than any sport you can have. This isn't basketball where LeBron James is always on the court. He's playing offense and defense, and he's a big factor in both. But in baseball, Mike Trout can't control his pitching. He can't control the other hitters around him. So Mookie Betts is gifted on these great organizations with the Red Sox and the Dodgers. And the Dodgers weren't just good with Mookie Betts. They made the World Series 3 times in the past 4 years. So obviously there are going to be title contenders. I'm not saying Mookie Betts didn't have a big role in any of them, because he did, obviously, but he's not the sole reason why they won it all. And Mike Trout isn't the sole reason why the Angels haven't made the playoffs from 2017 to 2020. So now let's go at the stats for each of those teams. So if you go to the Angels, look at their batting averages. That's very below average. And now let's look at the Red Sox batting averages from 2017 to 2019 and the Dodgers stats from 2020. They are definitely better, and I know it's not a completely huge margin, but that's definitely enough to make more of an impact in the game. Now let's look at the more non-controllable stats that neither player has. ERA. The Angels' ERA has been from average to really bad, and the Red Sox have had a really good ERA every year except for 2019. And I know that's not much of a difference either. That can decide if you win a 1-run game, Just one more run allowed per 9 innings. And even if you want to go through an MVP standpoint, Mike Trout has 3 and Mookie Betts is 1. And I am not saying Mookie Betts is a bad player at all. He is amazing. He's going to make the Hall of Fame whenever his career is said and done. It's completely absurd to compare him to a guy like Mike Trout, who's consistently the best player in baseball every single year. And I know injuries have kind of, not derailed him, but limited his specific stats. And his 162 game averages are better than his real life. But still, as a valuable player, there's no one like Mike Trout, and there's not going to be a guy like Mike Trout for many years to come. And to even top it off, Mike Trout has the greatest contract in all of baseball, over $400 million. Mookie Betts has an amazing contract himself, over $300 million. But still, Mike Trout has so much value that the Angels are willing to pay him that much just to keep him on their team. If the Red Sox saw Mookie Betts as a guy better than Mike Trout, they would have done whatever they could to keep him. They would have never traded him. Even though they did have cap issues, they still would have done anything they could just to keep him, because having a valuable player like Mike Trout is so important to your team no matter what stage you're on. There you have it. I hope I changed your guys' mind. And if I didn't, that's okay. It's your guys' opinion. I can't change it, but I would like to hopefully sway you into a different position. So I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, do what you need to do. And I'll see you guys on Sunday tomorrow.